We're here in Go Forest today to continue discussing Master Xunhua's Shanqi instructions. Thank you for joining us. It's about 100 degrees in San Jose earlier. I don't know if anyone noticed. For one, I'm so grateful for air conditioning. Times like this is when I wish our Tibetan, I can wear short sleeves, would be so helpful. We have so many layers, This is designed for the winter times, not for the summer times. Anyway, we have to survive. How's everyone tonight? Good? Okay. We started listening to the audio last week about this another eminent monk. So part of Master Xunhua's teachings is to talk about these special Sangha members in the history of Buddhist monks. And so let's see what this one is about. During the Jin dynasty, this is his disciple Master Tao An. Master Tao An was very famous, is highly revered Chinese monk, and so therefore this monk is also Chinese. And Mr. Tao An is well known for his wisdom, and also for one thing that's kind of interesting, especially for monks, famous monks, is that he's very ugly. If he sees himself in a mirror, he probably will pass out. Maybe that's why we have a rule that we don't have a lot of mirrors around the temples. Okay, but he's very famous because of his great wisdom. And so he brought Chinese Buddhism to a next level because he's revered by both the officials, the royalties, and who supported him. And then he also had a lot of disciples, left from disciples. No one knows where this venerable monk was from, but at a very young age, he started studying the Pakaviyatiya Shakrik Pashpramit. I'm trying to impress XX who struggled last night pronouncing this thing. But just for practical purposes, it's called streaming light prajna. So Bora prajna. So this is about the wisdom. So this tells you that this is a Mahayana sutra. And so he, at a very young age, he has a lot of Mahayana wisdoms already, blessings already. And because it's very hard, by the way, to be able to study and absorb Mahayana sutras or scriptures. Case in point, the people who lack Mahayana blessings will probably cannot survive. They probably will walk away. When Master Tao An went to Chang'an, back then was the capital of China, this eminent monk followed him. We still don't know what his name was. And even though he followed his master, he preferred Jing Jing. So he prefers purity, peace and purity, stillness and purity, and did not accept offerings. So this is very unusual for him, for the monk, to refuse to accept offerings from others, in particular when he studied the Prajna Sutras. Okay, so it's very unusual. It's a contradiction right there. But he prefers purity, he prefers quietude, so he prefers to be by himself, and he will not accept people's offerings. All right? And so he went to the mountains and meditated besides the blacks, the Ling Pai, Ling Wei. So apparently this tradition started at the time already, where for the deceased, they would put the names and sponsor the spiritual plaques at the temples, and this is what we have today it's known as rebirth plaques, I think. Am I correct, Chinese people? Any? Oh, okay. No Chinese. No real Chinese people here. Okay, so that's what he meditated beside the spiritual plaques. Why? I don't know why. Why would you meditate besides the spiritual plaques? Spiritual plaques usually are the places where the spirits or the ghosts reside, and therefore they're not necessarily the best companions for meditation, but he likes to do that. Okay. And he secluded himself in a mountain called Mount Fuzhou. Okay, blessings boat. So the mountain looked like an upside down boat, and that's why it's called Fuzhou. He lived there, keeping away from people and not accepting any offerings. Okay, not only he's not accepting offerings, but he's a hermit. He would not, would stay away from people, would discourage people from coming to look for him. So basically, he's lived in hiding. Didn't want anyone to know where he was. If you would like to offer him some money or rice, he wouldn't accept it. If the people found him, they offer him money or rice, he wouldn't accept them. This is a good way to turn people away and not have them come back again, because apparently a Chinese tradition back then was to find sanghas and make offerings to them. And they trained at that time already, started a tradition already, and they traveled so far to the mountain and to make offerings to him, but he refused the offerings, and that's maybe one of the major reasons how he ensured his quietude and his solitude. And his temperament was just too stubborn. 这个is it Gu, right? Gu Chu. Very stubborn. He would not listen. Okay. And so he lived in the mountains for many years, not coming out or descending from the mountain. So very, very pure life. And maybe this is why his reputation was spreading. Okay. Chang'an was the capital, so they're into fantastic things, extraordinary things, so word spread around. Because when I was listening last night to the subsequent sections, I had some questions, and now reading this again, I see, that's why. And so he very persistent. He refused. He would not change his ways. Doesn't matter how many people came or tried to influence him to accept offerings, to do favors, to help others. He refused them all. So he has that reputation that was spreading around Chang'an. Okay? And no one could talk him out of it, including his master, I imagine. So one year, he descended from the mountain and invited all the monks who lived in Chang'an to come. You see, and this is And he lectured on that sutra, that Tapin Bo Jing, the Bhagavati Shashrik Prashtramit. Okay. And he lectured on Prajna Sutra. And so it's interesting, when you look at this, you can guess that he became enlightened because he studied Prajna Sutra, and he decided then to lecture on that. Okay, what's the difference? Difference is that if you reach the level of an arhat, then it's unlikely you would change your ways. If you prefer quietude and solitude and purity, this is when these Sanghas choose to live in the mountains away from civilization, because people are trouble. And to me, it's kind of funny that he distanced himself from people because they cause a lot of afflictions. They have a lot of afflictions. Okay, and what are the nature of people's afflictions? They take themselves too seriously. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. Okay, just a general scan. Yeah. And this is why this is a nature of the afflictions in the world. We take ourselves too seriously. And that's why people go away from the cities as far as possible. In particular, the Hinayana, which is my first impression of the story from this monk here, this eminent monk, that we still don't know the name yet, is that the eminent monks in the Hinayana tradition, they understood. They got away. They got away from civilization. They got away from people in particular. Okay, and that's how you become pure, and you find solitude and quietude. Okay, because people simply are too noisy, too afflicted. Yes, JC.
네, 입계 김용학님의 질문입니다. 항상 귀중한 가르침 주시는 선사님께 진심으로 감사드립니다. 지난번 화엄경 법문에서 다른 사람에게 도움을 준 기억을 잊으라는 건 이해했습니다. 그러면 다른 사람에게 해를 끼친 일은 기억해야 하나요? 아니면 잊어야 하나요? 저는 다른 사람에게 해를 끼칠 가능성이 있는 일만 해도 계속 떠올라서 번뇌로울 때가 많습니다. 예를 들어서 직장에서 다른 부서 사람 한 명이 저를 몇 달 동안 계속 무시하고 있습니다. 친하지는 않아도 원래 평범하게 얘기하던 사람이 저를 피하는 모습을 보니 제가 잘못한 일이 있나 생각해 봤습니다. 그런데 제가 과거에 한 말이나 행동이 상대를 기분 나쁘게 했는지 아닌지 저 스스로는 잘 모르겠습니다. 그리고 상대에게 직접 제가 무언가 잘못하게 있는지 물어봤는데도 상대방은 답변을 하지 않고 계속 저를 무시했습니다. 그래서 제가 무언가 잘못해서 그 사람이 저를 무시하는 건지 아니면 다른 이유가 있어서 저를 무시하는 건지 모르겠습니다. 무시당해서 기분 나쁜 것과는 별개로 제가 상대에게 무언가 잘못한 게 있는지 계속해서 생각하느라 번뇌로울 때가 많습니다. 이 일뿐만이 아니라 평상시에도 혹여나 제가 다른 사람에게 피해를 주지는 않았을까 생각하는 일이 많습니다. 제가 다른 사람에게 해를 끼쳤을 가능성이 있을 때 그 기억도 잊어야 하나요? 아니면 계속 기억하고 있어야 하나요? 이상입니다.
I thank you to our master for our teachings. And I listened to your Dharma talk about Avatamsaka Sutra, and I heard that you told us to forget about helping others, and I understand that. But what about the memory of us harming others? Do we have to forget that too? In my case, if I think of any possibilities of me harming others, then it keeps coming up and I'm very afflicted. For example, in my work, in another department, one person is kept ignoring me for a few months. We were not very close, but we were okay. We could talk to each other very normally. But now this person is ignoring me. So I thought maybe I did something wrong. Maybe in the past I said something wrong, or my action made this person be offended. But I don't know for sure. So I asked this person directly, but this person didn't answer me and kept ignoring me. So I don't know if I did something wrong, or is there another reason that this person is ignoring me? I don't know. So apart from being offended by being ignored, but I'm afflicted because I keep thinking about did I do something wrong to this person? Not only this case, but in my ordinary daily lives, I keep thinking about did I harm others a lot? So I want to know that if there's a possibility of me harming others, do I have to forget that memory too, or should I remember it?
Wow. Impressive. Very good. This is how you ask questions. Remember, I don't have a whole lot of wisdom. So when you ask me about theory, I don't understand theory. Okay, you should find scholars and talk to them about theories and hypothetical situations. What we're dealing with is how to improve ourselves. It's not about theory, it's about specifics. Okay? So that's why when you ask questions and you ask me about theories, you shouldn't even bother, because you're better off looking for wiser monks, better educated, to ask them, because they're full of theories. I can only help you with specifics. That's what interests me. I'm interested to know that you're jealous. I'm interested to know that you are greedy for food, you like to drink, and so forth, and how to fix those problems. Because it's from specifics. This is how you open your wisdom. Okay? Wisdom is opened by you learning how to fix your problems, specific problems. Then it's easier for you to understand the theory behind it later. Okay? So this is the preferred approach that we take, because if you, this is why when you ask me questions, you should be very specific. In this case here, and you did a great job giving me specifics. You can, if you're not sure, you can talk about, I'm worried about, remembering. The way she posed the question, very good. Going from general to specifics, okay? And ask me in the end, is it connected to the specific? Is it connected to the general, the general principle behind it? So, excellent question. Help. Just because I like the question doesn't mean I know how to fix it. Yeah? Okay, what do you think? That's a long question. Another problem is that it's too long. I don't remember. Okay. So, what was the question again?
Ignoring
Something
him.
about co-worker and he refused to talk. Is it a him or her? Is this a lady or a man? The questioner.
It doesn't say in the question.
Doesn't say. You cannot tell by the name. Usually in the U.S., like Jane is usually female.
In this question, it says just another person.
What? There's no name from the person who asked the question?
Oh, the person who asked is a man.
It's a man. Okay.
Yeah, but the
thank you very
person who's
much.
ignoring him, we don't know.
No, it's a he. Yeah. You don't know, but you use the word he. Okay, fine. Okay, so what do you think the problem was? Let's test your listening skills. My nervous skills are bad. I'm like President Biden. I don't remember anything anymore. It's so sad. Just when we need him most, he fall prey to the Republicans' attacks. Okay, but I'm reminding myself I'm in Republican territory. Go ahead, anyone, huh? What do you remember?
Who's ignoring him is a woman.
The person ignoring him is a woman. Okay? It sounds like a good situation. We just talked about afflictions and quietude and peace and happiness and purity. So being ignored by a woman tends to be a good thing. Okay. Repeat the question. The only suggestion is that make it shorter.
So to make it shorter, this person has, in his work, there's someone who's ignoring him in another department, and he don't know what he did wrong, so he keep thinking about it. Maybe he harmed others, and in other cases too, in his daily life, he thinks about this a lot, like, did I harm others?
And the general question was, should he ignore what? Thoughts
He's
of harming
being
others?
ignored by others. That makes him think he might have done something wrong.
Go ahead, WMT.
Hello, there I am on. Thank you, Master. How are you, by the way?
Oh, great. I'm going Tibetan, just in case you haven't got the introduction part. I'm going sleeveless.
You're going to go Tibetan. I love it. Okay, we have a comment here from Diego Alfonso. You know him.
We all know him. Yeah.
We all know Diego. Amitabha Master. Master told us not long ago that we shouldn't live with the fear of offending others.
I did?
You did.
Oh, I did. Okay. Okay. That's affirmative. All right? I've been wrong before. That's all I have to say in my defense. Okay? Anyone remembers exactly what the first question, what the first part of the question was before he went to specifics? I couldn't remember the exact wording. Yes, too. Someone is listening, hopefully.
Thank you, Master. His questions, I believe, to be asking that he might have harmed people in the past, and now it's keep coming up on his mind. He asking that should he ignore it, or what should he do about it?
So he might have harmed others in the past?
Yes, sounds like it.
Is that what everyone else heard as well? Yes, 7.
For Master, the first question is about Master teach us if we do the good thing and we should ignore it, we don't need to remember that. But if we do the harm thing, the bad
There
thing,
you go. Yeah. Okay. And continue. Yeah.
So should we remember that, or should how?
So what about the bad things?
Yeah.
Are we
what about the
supposed to
bad thing?
remember it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good question. What do we do? Good things? Forget it. What about bad things? Should we forget the bad things? Yeah? Who said yeah? Yeah, okay. Explain.
A Di Đà Phật thầy, con nghĩ là nếu mà mình quên, mình nên quên hết đi chứ không cần phải nhớ, chừng nào nó tới thì nó tới thôi à.
Okay. Yeah. Are you in trouble? Go ahead, DTT. Huệ Mong? Anyone? Oh, translation, Huệ Mong.
Amitabha Master. So I think that if we need to forget, then we need to forget everything. When it comes.
Okay, very good. Yes, DTT.
Master, I think we should not forget what we did bad to others, because that we remember, so then in the future we try to avoid it. But in this case, this question, I think because he tried to approach that the other lady, the co-worker, but she ignores. So why keep thinking about that? Because if he tried to think about that, and then just make him feel worse. So I think in this case, just ignore. Don't need to remember, because he tried his best to fix the problem. But
you're not making yourself clear at all. Repeat again.
In general,
in this case, this co-worker, female co-worker who ignored him, he should do this. Okay? It's okay to be wrong. We're wrong all the time. It's nothing to worry about. We're wrong so often. So if we're wrong, we say, okay, I was wrong. I apologize. I changed, I can change. You have to assert yourself. Okay, so say it again. What is your point?
In general, when we do bad thing to other people, we should remember that, so we can avoid doing it in the future. That's in general. But in this specific case, because he tried to approach that person, so that he tried to find out what he did wrong, but that person keep ignoring him, so he tried his best. If he try to do more, then it can cause more affliction to him and other person too. So in this particular case, he tries his best, so now he can forget about that.
Very good. That's all you have to say. You try your best already. As you ignore him, sayonara. Okay? That's how you make your point very quickly. You're not a lay person anymore, so you have to be a lot more succinct. Yes, YouTube comment.
Thank you, Master. Diego has further comments. He said, I don't think we should forget them as they help us grow if we see them from a different perspective, but we should stop getting afflicted every time we remember.
Stop getting afflicted every time we remember. Ooh, okay, what about JC?
Hello, Master. Actually, the person who asked the question, he comes to JC regularly every Sunday, and he volunteers a lot. And he's one of the most gentlemen, and we all know that he's a very good person. He's trying too hard in a way. So in his case particularly, I think he shouldn't worry too much, because he cannot control how people respond to him unless the other person expresses what's wrong.
Is he married?
He's not married. Actually, he had a private meeting with Master in JMT once.
Oh,
no, so I sent you the photo. I think maybe it will help you to.
no, my memory is no good. And what's your name again?
So I believe that I think he's worrying too much. Yeah.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Yes, JC? No? Okay. It's good to ask questions when you are never, whatever you're not clear on. You can bring it up and discuss it. So please feel free to ask about anything. We can try to discuss things that are of interest, okay, to everyone. First of all, when we tell you that after you do a good deed, like you help someone, you give something to someone, then you should learn to forget it immediately. Okay, and that's how you will be able to perfect the giving paramita. You have to the quicker you're able to forget the good deeds you've done, the faster your wisdom will unfold. Okay, so this is a difference between people who cultivate and strive for wisdom and worldly people. Worldly people, they count the good deeds. They always remember how to help others. Okay, and the more help they give to others, the more they remember it. And it's as if, and it shows in the attitude, for example, that I help you, now you owe me. Anyone? Then if it weren't the case, why bother helping someone? It would be a waste of your resources. You give $1 million to a museum, you give 10 million to the Met Opera in New York, and they just, oh, okay, thank you. And they cash a check, and you don't even put your name on a plaque. Donor to the Met Opera. Huh? Mrs. So-and-so. What's the point in doing it? Aren't you simply throwing your money away through the window? Okay? That would be stupid, wouldn't it? And that's how worldly people think. Whereas in the transcendental pursuits of wisdom, now, we help because we have a chance to help. And once we are done our helping someone, we want to forget about it as soon as possible. Even people come to us and say, oh, thank you for helping us so much. I say, oh, you're welcome. But then get away from me. Okay? You got that? Because I'm trying to forget you. Okay, well, you can't say that. It's so annoying when people come to you, thank you so much, thank you. I say, yes, of course. What's your name again? You look familiar. You look familiar. Oh my God. I'm traumatized by that debate. Okay, that I cannot forget. I saw, just a short clip of that. I said, oh my God, what happened? Well, anyway, okay, so there's a real reason for us to try to forget as quickly as possible how we've done a good deed, what deed we've done. If you do that, this is a secret for you. This is a Mahayana recipe for increasing your blessings many folds. If you give 10 million to the Met, you only see 10 million, okay? But what you don't see is that if you're able to forget that, okay, completely in your mind, that $10 million there, the value of that gift is actually 1 billion that goes into your eighth consciousness as your blessings. It's similar to investing in some stocks, let's say $10 million worth of stocks, and later down the road, okay, when you need it, it becomes a lot of money. And that's Buddha's secret. The reason ordinary people, poor people, become emperors later in their next lifetimes is because they created such deeds that gave them a lot of blessings. So one of those days in the future, they'll be born, and all those blessings in the eighth consciousness will mature. And that's how they born as orange face. I mean, no, he's not rich. You got that? That's how it happened. Or if you have even more blessings, you'll be born as a world ruler. You even have even more blessings, you'll be born as, a Buddha. So that's why our secret is that forget the good deeds as quickly as possible. Okay? That's how your blessings have a bigger multiplier. Is it clear for everyone? You understand multiplier, don't you? Huh? You give one, but actually you're getting back 10,000 times. That's how you get rich. You don't need to steal, folks. To steal would be stupid. Because when you steal, you owe them. You get away with it now, but you owe them. Okay? And you're poorer in the future. But when you give, even though you give small amounts, but you forget it, it's a big multiplier. That's wisdom. All right? So that's why when you do a good deed, when you practice giving, That's what it falls under the category of giving, paramita. Okay, you practice giving, then forget it as quickly as possible. Okay. Where was I again? I'm kidding. Okay, what about when you do a bad deed? When you do a bad deed, the seeds are stored in your consciousness. Okay, and the question is about, I did something bad, and occasionally I think about it. It comes back to and haunts me, and I'm reminding of it when I meditate, when I sleep, or when I'm drinking, or when I'm spending time with, so all of a sudden these bad things, memories of bad things I did came up again. Okay, am I supposed to forget them too? Absolutely not. Because if you forget them, then those debts, karmic debts, because when you do something bad, you're creating a karmic debt, you owe them. When you steal from someone, you lie to someone, you scam someone, okay? And you get money out of them, for example. The scammers who are preying on old people, and speaking of love and companionship, whatever, and so forth. All those people who scam and got money out of you, okay, don't worry. You're poor now, but in the future, they have to pay you back big time, okay? So don't worry. Okay, I know it's not very comforting for you since you lost all your life savings, but you get it back eventually, okay? And so if you scam someone, let's talk from the perspective of the scammer. Or you do something bad to someone, okay? Or you scam someone, you hurt someone, you cheat someone, okay? You are creating a karmic debt with that individual. So now you owe them, okay? And that debt there accrues with interest. When you talk to the financial advisor, I have some financial planners here tonight in the audience. So I talk about finances a little bit, if you don't mind. The financial advisors and great gurus like the buffets of the world, they said, the one thing you should do is take advantage of compound interest. Yeah? You invest a little bit amount of money, you earn interest on that, and don't withdraw the interest, let the interest compound, okay? And that's how, from a small investment amount, it grows into a big pot by the time you're ready to die. To retire, excuse me. I'm a little bit obsessed about that. Okay, excuse me. And so you see, that principle there, when you invest a small amount right now, and then you let it compound, that interest compound over time, it grows to be very, very big. Same thing on the other side of the equation. You owe someone a small amount. If you don't pay it back, it grows and grows and grows and grows until you pay it back. This is why to scam others, to steal from others, is a very bad thing for yourself. So don't worry, folks. You come to try to steal from me, I'm not worried at all. I don't even bother to remember you, because you will have to pay me back. You have to look for me, because if you didn't, you have to pay more and more and more. So that's why when you're the bank, you don't care, as long eventually they have to pay you. Now he's looking, look at that, he's interested. You see? Yeah. That's why That's why when people owe you, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? They have to find you and pay you back. If not, it keeps growing. The debt grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Until it is so big that you have to slave for them. You become their slave. You become their horse, where they ride you and they spur you until you bleed, and they whip you, and you say, "Oh, I love it. I love you, Master." It's that bad. Okay? Don't worry. When people owe you, don't worry. Compound interest. Okay, so that's why when we do something bad, we better remember and find a way to resolve it and pay it off as soon as possible. Does it help, that principle? Okay, now about this being ignored by a woman. My answer is, good thing. Let's not worry about it. Okay? What's the principle behind it? Principle behind it is that if you concerned that you did something wrong, you come over and say, "Hey, listen, I'm very sorry," or send a note or some bouquet of flowers and say, "I'm sorry. We haven't talked for a long time. I hope you're well, and I hope I didn't do anything wrong, but I did anything wrong. Please forgive me," and have some silly AI-generated kind of cartoon. You say, "I'm so sorry." Use humor, okay, to ask for forgiveness, and that's it. And you back off, because principle number one, you have to show remorse. Number two, and ask for forgiveness. Number two is that you need to respect their wishes. You cannot impose yourself upon them. Okay? You did your best, like Master Z said. Yes, you worried about her, and you don't want anything bad to any malaise, any ill feelings to persist between the two of you. And you say, okay, you make a move, and you put the ball in her court and say, okay, it's up to you how you want to decide to reply to me. I respect your privacy. I respect your wishes. You wish to continue to ignore me. I tried. Okay? Then you're done. Okay? You stop worrying about it. And, okay? That's all. And if she's, if in a case she's your wife, okay? I know in this case she's not, but she's your wife, then you get on your knees. You show more sincerity. Any questions? Any agreements or disagreements? Yeah? Okay, very good. Thank you. 249, we're back to 249. So, yes, JMT. Of course.
네, 들리세요? 네,
안녕하세요.
네,
네.
일단 질문하시는 분, 네,
네.
네, 안녕하세요. 네, 질문하시는 분에 대한 코멘트.
I'm very honored. Hi.
네, 질문하신 분에 대해서 그 질문하신 분에 대한 코멘트는 내가 상대에게 할 수 있는 최선을 다했는데도 최선을 더 이상 할 게 없다라고까지 최선을 다했다면 그냥 내려놓는 게 맞고 계속 떠올리는 건 번뇌라고 생각하고요. 네.
So this is a comment for the person who asked. If I did my best to that person, and if I have nothing else to do, try more, then I think letting go is the right decision. If you keep thinking about it, I think it's an affliction.
그래서 질문은 우연히 질문이 그냥 겹친 건데 그 마스터께서 신통력 중에서 누진통에 대해서 제가 질문이 있거든요. 제가 기억하는 누진통은 아란 이상이 증득할 수 있는 신통력으로 저는 기억하고 있어요. 네. 여섯 개 신통력 중에서 번뇌가 스스로 없어지는, 네네, 저절로 없어지는, 네네네.
And I have a question about spiritual powers. Within 6 spiritual powers, I want to ask about the no affliction spiritual power.
Ask.
이제 누진통이 아란 이상이 증득할 수 있는 신통력이라고 기억을 하고 있는데 제가 궁금한 포인트는 다른 뭐 천안통이나 천이통 이런 것처럼 수행을 하면 자연스럽게 저절로 이렇게 생겨지는 건지 한번 끊을게요, 스님.
So as I remember, if you are on Arhat stage or over four stage Arhat, then you can obtain this spiritual power. And I want to know, is this spiritual power is obtained like any other spiritual powers? Is it like naturally occurred?
이제 궁금한 게 이렇게 이 누진통이 이 누진통을 목표로 아란 이상이 수행을 어떤 특정한 누진통을 개발할 수 있는 수행법이 있는 건지 아니면 그냥 이렇게 하다가 다른 신통력처럼 뭐 자연스럽게 이렇게 얻어지는 건지 저는 그게 궁금한 거거든요.
So what I want to know is that can first stage Arhat or higher can aim this spiritual power to gain this skill and cultivate, or is it like naturally obtained?
Okay.
기도가 뭐 우리가 바로 정토를 갈 수도 없고 가고 싶은다고 해서 마스터께서는 뭐 성공을 보장하는 건 정토라고 하셨는데 사바세계 사는 동안 이 유진통이 있어도 또 다른 대안이라고 생각을 해서 질문하게 됐어요.
I ask this because we cannot go to Pure Land right away, and I think having no affliction spiritual power is one other way to go there.
Okay. Very good. Then good luck to you. Go there.
마스터 질문은 이 유진통이 이걸 목표로 특별한 수행법이 있냐가 제 질문의 포인트인 거예요.
So Master, my point is there any special way to cultivate for the spiritual power?
Yes.
어디서 찾을 수 있어요?
Where can I find that?
At the temples. I promise. Eventually you get it. Okay? You see, when I studied Buddhism, all I had was the scriptures. I read a lot of stuff. Just like you, I read all these concepts, spiritual powers and so forth. And it's not until after a while that all those congealed and coalesced and became clear as a part of this tapestry that the Buddha was giving us in the human realm. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I tried, and so I tried to give you glimpses about them, about that tapestry, that the Buddha spent 50 years describing to us. And then his disciples then came to our world and added more details. And the problem is that the more glimpses I give you, the more questions you asked. That's why it's endless. If I keep on going like this, you basically it goes into the territory where you only ask and you no longer curious about how to do it instead of knowing what it's about. This is a problem with the Vietnamese or the Chinese and scholars nowadays. They're more interested in knowing only. They no longer are curious about experiencing it, but that's anti-Buddhism. Buddhism is that, from my perspective, Buddhism is that I want to tell you enough for you to be greedy about it. Yes, I'm afflicting you, okay? I'm substituting the greed for that wonderful experience that you experience versus the affliction that you experience every day. So it's called using poison to fight poison. Okay? But I don't want to overdo it to the point where now it's about me showing off what I know, and you just keep on asking, and I can explain it for the next 50 years, and you keep on asking, I keep on explaining, and pretty soon you compile all that thing in annals of all the questions in Buddhism, and say, hey, so what's the point doing? We know what's going to happen eventually. It's not about what you know, it's about what you should be experiencing. Yeah? So your question is, yes, it's true. I did tell you that the exhaustion or outflows, spiritual penetration number 6, is meaning that you have 0 afflictions. Let me explain to you what it means. It means this. This is why it's so important for you. It's important for you because, let's say your wife yells at you. I don't know how often it happens to you. Your wife yells at you every day. I feel for you. Okay. Okay. And if you're afflicted by that, okay, could be that not just your wife, but also your co-worker or your son, and people you really care for, and they somehow make you afflicted for whatever the reasons. Okay? In Buddhism, this is very important for you to understand why we're doing this. In Buddhism, we have a choice. Do we stay afflicted or do we not stay afflicted? Okay? We stay afflicted because we choose to be afflicted so that we can connect with our beloved wife. Very good. Mm-hmm. That's communications. You understand? Mm-hmm. We suffer for them. How come I wish my parents taught me this? I would have not been divorced. Let me tell you. If I just expressed myself this way today, okay? Anyway, to the point. Does it hurt, the divorce, still? Okay. So, because you're not a great communicator. You need to express yourself. I'm doing this because of my deep love for you. I will suffer and suffer and suffer until I go crazy. Huh? That's how I declare my great love to you. Ordinary people, they kneel down and say, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay? For us, we suffer quietly. And it hurts so much. And we cry at night. Cry ourselves to sleep. Okay? And that's how we declare our great love. Okay? So anyway, so the point, what was the point again? Shucks. Here I go again. You distracted me, man. Oh, Wei Mao.
Your disciple Rume requests that you expand upon a teaching you once gave us, which was that I remember you said the best way to repay you was to become enlightened. But when I think of my parents or my ex-friends or even like ex-girlfriends who I no longer talk to and have no connection to, but have given me so much kindness and love and gifts, how can I repay what they have given me?
Yes, the Hinayana teacher met the kindness. You send them kindness, kind thoughts. I give you all the kindness in my heart. Hallelujah. I mean, praise the Lord. Okay? And be healed. Try to do something to be nice to them, to benefit them, give, okay, to make up for it. Don't talk, okay? Do something to benefit them, all right? As I was saying, what was I saying? Yes, JMT.
마스터께서 설명하시다가 기억이 안 나신다고 해서 리마인드 시켜드리라고 다시 질문을 했고요. 누진통을 어떻게 수행할 수 있는지 수행법을 배우고 싶어서 질문 드린 겁니다. 다른 신통력엔 관심이 없고요. 왜냐하면 지금 당장 제가 정토로 갈 수 있는 건 아니잖아요.
To remind you. So I'm interested in
Don't remind me.
expansion
Okay,
of.
it's okay. I remember now.
됐다, 나 기억난다.
Thank you, though. Thank you for the kindness. What's your name again? Okay. What was it again? Okay. So you have a choice. You choose to be afflicted. I'm reminding you. I know I'm joking about it. I'm joke too much. I apologize. Okay. Too many comedy shows. You can choose to be afflicted because that's how you connect with people, folks. You connect, if the other choice you have is not be afflicted. Okay? If you like that, there is a disconnect between you and the other people, the other person. You're unreachable. There's a wall behind you, around you, that they cannot break through. So that's why in Mahayana, we have that choice. That's what we taught you about, we teach you about, the spiritual penetration of exhaustion of outflows, so that we understand that we have that ability when we use that penetration there, spiritual penetration. That's when we choose to cut off from you. You can't reach us anymore. We become poof. We vanish into the air. Because we are free from afflictions. You see me, but you ain't seeing me. Because you can no longer afflict me. The point being that this is how worldly people connect, by afflicting each other. Your mom didn't tell you that, huh, Nacho? You're looking for a girl, aren't you? That's it. That's it. You have to learn how to afflict her. we should be coaching our Buddhist disciples on dating, okay? Special Buddhist dating classes, okay? And that's the process. You need to find a way, okay? Let me tell you. Just, girls, don't tune out a little bit. You need to find a way to fix them so that they remember you and they like it. And that's how ordinary people create bonds, by afflicting each other. I know no monks talk to you like this before, but then it's because they don't want to bother. They don't want you to bother them. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, what about the main? What can we do to
find love?
Create a bond.
It's impossible. It's impossible to find love nowadays. Okay, love is an illusion. Love is a series of afflictions that are bigger and bigger. That's my definition of love. If the affliction does not grow bigger, you fall out of love. Now you know the secret, man. How to find a woman. What do you think, Daniel? Impressed? Share with us your wisdom.
I don't have any wisdom. I just trying to think of how I can afflict somebody without
in a cute way. So that's why you learn tricks, you find ways to create cute afflictions, not repulsive afflictions. Okay? And so going back to the question from Kaylan, where the spiritual penetration of the exhaustion of outflows, that is a skill that you will develop and you will have naturally, okay? And when you reach a level, that's correct, you reach a level of 4th stage arhat, that's when that skill there becomes an ability for you so that you can choose to distance yourself, to wall yourself in so that no one can reach you anymore. That's why you have no more afflictions. They can get afflicted with you, but you don't have any afflictions. Okay? So that's why it's a choice for us. Okay? Do I get afflicted or don't I get afflicted? And there's a skill you will have naturally, and you will. Once you reach a level, that level is 4th stage arhat, and then you will be able to wield that skill, that power. Okay? It's natural. Yes, one.
Master, this reminds me of something I'm going through at work. So I'm a supervisor, and I got sent to...
Already?
Yes, sir.
At the same company, or you switched companies already?
Same company.
That fast? You just got a job like last year?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I don't know how I did it.
Really? Wow. Impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
you don't plan to lead the home life anymore? I want to make sure I'm no longer afflicted by that. Yeah, question.
So I got sent to the worst department.
This is what happens to us, you know. People say, my life is meaningless to me. I want to live the home life. After, wow, this is so great. Yeah, come, I teach you. I prepare you. I train you. And then they got the skills, and they're so attractive. Girls like them, snatch them from under us. And then the bosses like them, promote them. And now they come to us and say, you know what about that shaving the head? Forget it, man. Now I'm happy. I don't need us. I don't need you anymore. I don't need Buddhism anymore. Yes, sir. Go ahead. One.
I'm still
You're
not
not
happy.
the first, by the way. You're not the first. No, you're not. Yeah.
There's a saying in Spanish where they say,
Never again is a saying in Spanish. How do you say in Spanish? Never again?
Nunca jamás.
Nunca jamás. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like I was saying, there was got sent to the worst department because there's like a little group of people employees, and they kind of back each other up, and it's the only department that is like this. Everyone else, for the most part, is really cooperative with work, but these guys, they find any reason to give you bad attitude, to not work, do the minimum, and they're not making the department run how it's supposed to run. So they told us that ahead of time. So like one thing I noticed they do is that they give you attitude. They make it hard for you to connect with them or to talk to them for things to go easy. And like at first, as a new supervisor and new to the area and new to the company, like it kind of threw me off. So I was scared to talk to them.
Yes.
But with time, as I keep trying and not giving up, I feel like what's working for me is because I do like my job and I like what I'm doing, and so I just don't care. At first I didn't want to annoy them. I was maybe thinking like, maybe like if I give them space, then they'll cooperate with me. But now
wishful thinking. Yes.
Yeah. Now I just like stay in a good mood, talk to them, and don't let it affect me. And I feel like that's working better for me. So I feel like this reminds me of not getting afflicted, but this is making it better when you're saying right now that not getting afflicted makes a disconnect.
Yes. You're afflicted when you need them. Okay? You need to convey the message. Okay? But if they don't listen to you, and then you disconnect. Listen. What happened to you is very commonplace in many organizations, good ones. They have what we call deadwood, who are there taking advantage of the system. No one wants them, and they can't get rid of them for whatever the reasons. Bad press, maybe they know someone up there who they are protected. Okay, if they know the VP up there, regional manager, they're untouchable. Well, no one wants to touch them, so that's why it happens a lot more often than you think. Okay, and especially for a company like yours, to hire someone is very tedious process because of your reputation of promoting from within and longevity, and many of your leaders spend their entire career at the company, climb up the ladder. Okay? And so it's a lot more commonplace than you think. Okay, so don't get afflicted. If my first advice to you is because they are aware of it. For a good company like yours to be where they are right now, they are aware of all those issues. Okay, so you don't have to beat yourself in the head for not being able to handle them. So what you do is ask yourself, the guy who was there before you, find him, find her, and ask her, how did you make it? Please teach me. And you get on your knees and cry. Okay? And really get afflicted. Okay? Because, listen, there was someone there before you, right? And what that person got promoted, either got promoted or left. If she got promoted, you better find her and talk to her and say, will you teach me? Will you please teach me? How to do my job better? Okay? Yeah. And what you learn is that it's a test that she probably passed because she proved her loyalty to the company, did not complain, try her best, given the circumstances. The bosses knew. They know it already. They're testing you. They're testing your loyalty. If you quit, you get afflicted, okay? And then they say, okay, then you don't belong here, okay? But if you tough it out and you try your best, okay, and the best you can, they know. Okay? And if there are times when you can't handle it anymore and it's very important, then what you have to do is do the jobs, their jobs. You don't complain. If it needs to get done, you do it because you're a supervisor. Your supervisor's job is to make sure it gets done. No excuses. That's your job. If the people underneath you are not able to do that, you do it. Okay? You work longer hours if you must. Okay? Call your fiancé and say, I'm sorry, honey, not tonight. Okay? But I promise you, one that got promoted out of here, I make it up to you. You got that? That's how you deal with the situation. You do their jobs for them. You don't ever complain. And you put in more hours and more hours. You have how many people? 6 hours, 6 people under you. Then you work 240 hours a week, if necessary, to get the job done. That's how you survive and pass the test. You get a raise? Remember me. We're poor. Okay? Very good. Anyone else? You have to have faith in your bosses. They know. The good companies, the managers, the executives, they're very smart. They know those issues. It's a test, that's all. Don't get discouraged. And be an avid learner. Find those ex-supervisors or people in similar situation and connect with them and ask them, how do you handle this? What's the best way? Please teach me. Okay? And show gratitude. This is a test of your loyalty, of your creativity in solving the problem. And work harder. You have to make it happen. You have to cover for them. Okay, I don't have any solution for your problem, okay, except that. All right, anyone else? All right. Prajna Sutra, how do we get into all this mess? Back to Prajna Sutra. Yeah. Others were surprised and asked him, you always separated from us and want nothing to do with us. What happened? And now what are you trying to prove? And he replied, no audio. This is where we stop tonight. Too hot. I replied, my Dharma name is Tao Li, finally. Okay, thank you for your patience. I was going to... And I was wondering, I was asking myself, And so he said, can continue. My Dharma name is Tao Li, and Dharma Master is my master. I cultivated for many years, investigated many sutras. Now my time is running out. Would like to leave around autumn. So I'm dying. I'm leaving soon. So after investigating all these sutras, so I want to pass on my knowledge to you and create affinities with all of you, Fa Yuan, through the Dharma. So it's Dharma affinities. So I give you Dharma in order to create affinities with you. Okay? And so this is when when I heard this, and when I heard this thing last night, I said, and I will briefly explain to everyone the principles I understand and Buddha now I have learned, thus fulfilling my wish. And at this point, I asked myself, why would anyone come and listen to him? Because it happened to me. I tried to tell you, my time is running out. I want to pass on what I know to you, but no one comes. So I said, what am I doing wrong? And the person who did it before me died already. I can't even ask him. See, that's why I'm giving you the same advice I'm giving myself. I endured it. So anyway, so this is what was lacking in the image for me that was being painted in the story he's telling us. I said, this guy rejected everyone. So naturally, when he wanted to connect with everyone, the response would be, what do we care about you? You never cared about us. Why should we care for you? So why would these people come and listen to him? That's what's missing in my picture, in my mind. The picture in my mind. Why? Would someone help me? Why would they come? Yeah, you have good intention, you understand sutras, so what? I don't care to listen to you. Why should I? No one? Never crossed anyone's mind last night when you listened to this? No one? Master Z, Master X, Master C, Master? No one? If you ignore this, it's going to happen to you too. Yes, sir.
Amito for Master, maybe because in a previous life they already had a connection with him.
By rejecting them?
Maybe. Or they already listened to him in a previous life.
In a previous life?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. You relied on a lot of previous life knowledge. So Spanish. Yes, anyone else? What happened? Why would they come and listen to him? Five.
Dạ thưa Thầy, chắc là họ có đủ phước báu để nghe cái pháp của Ngài, cho nên là tự nhiên nó dẫn họ tới nghe thôi.
Amito for Master, maybe that they have enough blessings, therefore, to be able to listen to his Dharma. Therefore, naturally, the blessing lead them to come and listen to his Dharma. That's all.
Could be. But remember, when they came to approach him, to make offerings to him, or even some might come to ask him questions, he refused them. So he rejected them. Why should they come now?
Dạ, tại lúc đó người ta chưa có đúng thời điểm xác định cái tham để mà Thầy nhận.
Matured yet, okay? That's a lot of possibly, it's possible. Yes, DTT.
We cannot hear you.
Master, can you hear now?
Yes.
I think it's part of the Chinese culture. They have the respectful mind to Dharma Master, so that's why they come.
You haven't been a monk long enough. Okay? Such a thing. It's always a rivalry. Okay? Yeah. Respect is earned. Yes, Wei Mao.
Amitabha, Master. To me, it's very, I guess, obvious. It's
Pray tell us.
Especially when they make offer to him and he rejected, because that shows he's so virtuous. He doesn't even take your offering. And plus, he's well known for a few good quality. He's a real cultivator. Wasn't that like he sit for 7 days and he doesn't eat and he's still alive? So it's all the good qualities. Now, I also want to bring another case for consideration, Master. Comparatively speaking, I remember there was a case when Yin Guang Fa Shi, the 13th patriarch of the Amitabha of the Pure Land, when he was giving a talk, nobody was listening to him at all. He was talking to chairs. So why would that be the case, comparative speaking? Thank you, Master.
Yeah. You're not helping. That's precisely the point, because no one listened to him because he rejected them. Okay, but this is you're right. I agree with you. This is the reverse psychology. Once, he built his reputation of rejecting everyone, so it's a reputation of purity. This is a Chinese culture back then, where they're looking for traits, for characteristics of a monk who's different, if you will. And unusual monks who cultivate, and that's what is prized in that world. Okay? So he has this reputation of being pure, preferring solitude, quietude, and not being greedy. You should have phrased it in the form of not being greedy for money, for offerings. And that is an image of virtue and purity built up over the years. And this is the capital of Chang'an. And in particular, also another factor that Apple Lee did not bring up is that he's a Tao Li, a disciple of Master Tao An. So he came with the labels. He's designer stuff, good stock, And then he has all these unusual behavior, which points him to be a true cultivator, shall we say. So it started with Master Tao An, who says, I have a disciple up there, okay, who's really practicing hard, okay? And has been verified by his behavior. That's why the reputation actually increased. The purer he became, the more the whisper is, is a Master Tao An disciple. He's been maybe in solitude for a long time now. Now he came out. That's why. Okay? So the key here is the reputation and support of his teacher. Because being in seclusion and practicing is not impressive enough because he failed to build the Dharma connections. It's from the teacher. To weave it together. Okay? Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. We have a comment. Oh, I'm sorry. It was just retracted. No comment.
No comment. Okay, thank you. Same here, no comment. And therefore, the people became curious. They said, this is Master Tao An's disciple, Tao Li. And now he's teaching. Okay? And he's dying. Let's take a look at who's dying, what a dying person looks like. Wouldn't you be curious? I'd love to tell you, 6 months to live, that's how you look like. Okay? And a lot of people came, and after completion of the summer retreat, he died without illness. Okay? And that's what happened. Now Master Sri can explain further. So the people were impressed. Okay, and so this helps if you have all these strange things associated with you. Yeah, knew his time of death in advance, must have been reborn in the Pure Lands. That's what rumor goes around. In advance, he knew that they is in 6 months in advance. Master Shoa said that's what people were saying. How did it happen? And Master Shoa explained, because he has Chan skills. Okay? You practice Chan, by the way. Some of you will be able to do that. So it's nothing extraordinary. Okay? But what's interesting, he's able to sit for 7 days. That's impressive. Like you've been coming to this summer cheese here, and you have 7 days here, and that's the same kind of training you're undergoing. Okay? So we don't know in terms of his meditation lasted for at least 7 days, meaning that he can sit for 7 days. It's very possible. The old abbot, who's now in Vietnam, nursing his heart back to health, was able to sit for, I don't know how long, 14 days he claims, without getting up. Impressive? Yeah, that's my disciple. You can't do it, you let your disciples do it. Same, it's all for us, the same family. Okay, so that's impressive. He sit for 7 days. He's very pure. Okay, very impressive. Okay, 7 days, but he will break up after 7 days. But the old monk, he can sit for 14 days. That's 2 7 days. Impressive for a very old man. I think he knows when he's going to die too. Way mountain.
Amitabha Master, if you would, I would like to ask you to comment on 2 things. Number 1 is this thing of knowing when to die. I have heard of cases in Vietnam where the person would be ordering his fur every morning, and suddenly they'll tell, "Oh, don't bring my fur anymore. I'm not going to be eating it." And so the person knew when to die. And I don't think the person was a cultivator. And there were many, many such cases. People would know where they die. Does that mean they're going to go to Pure Land? Does that mean they know they will go to where they're going?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Just one question or 2?
One more question?
Okay, never mind. Ignore that. And that's the thing. Master Shira made a big deal out of this monkey knowing, people back then saying that, spreading a rumor, this is special monkey knew when he would die and so forth. It's not always the case, okay, that you have to practice chant to know when you're going to die. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of. He's gonna go here, a little bit later. Like he says, "I die tomorrow." Someone says, okay, and to this guy, can I go? Can I keep going? And then her answer will get answered. Her question will get answered. He would not often eat, frequently enter samadhi, ask seven-day retreat. So this is very unusual behavior, very, very pure behavior. And he said, eating is too much troublesome. That's true. When you practice Chan, you naturally eat less and less and less. Okay, and you lose more and more pounds. If you want to do a hardship of eating, okay, yes, that's true. And you avoid a hardship of eating, concentration came to the fore, now that's true, okay, very good. So it's easier. This is why in our world, we try to cut back on the dinners, because the dinners actually are very difficult to digest, okay? So when you do a chanchi, try to avoid eating dinner. You can eat breakfast and lunch, okay? But try to avoid dinner, because then you can sit a bit longer into the evening. And so he can know in advance when he would be reborn, okay? And once he used to know when you will be reborn, and so Master Shenhua, it's not a big deal, let me tell you. I can tell you, I know I'll be dying tomorrow, and all I have to do is take sleeping pills. For example, there's a monk who in Myanmar, go to Myanmar and bow to that, and have his photo taken and posted on the social media. And he went to Siam, went to India and everything, related, and visited a lot of sites, Buddhist sites and so forth, and didn't practice Chan at all. But he bowed a lot. He bowed a lot and a lot and a lot to everyone, okay? And have no samadhi skills even after all those bowing, because you bow, there's a technique to bowing, there's a proper place to bow, and there's instructions for you to bow. You don't just bow, okay? That's why he never developed samadhi skills. The principal reason why he never developed samadhi is because he bowed to impress others. If you think you come here and you practice, you're sitting and you sit longer to impress girls, boys, okay? You ain't gonna have samadhi skills. Stop trying to impress others. Okay, that Tao Li, he really wanted to practice, he liked it. But, for this guy here, this particular monk here bowed. When he bowed, he was hoping someone would see him. So when more people around, he bowed more vigorously. When no people around, he said, I feel so lonely today, that kind of thing. He needs an audience. If you do that, you have no skills. Okay, so be careful. Okay, and you make these mistakes. This is why how these monks waste their lives, because they put so much time, invested so much of their lives, but were not doing it right. Not just monks, but you as well. You meditate, you do these things. Whether it's an hour, half an hour, you should do it with the proper way. And so then he says, I have a lot of seniority here. I survived all these years, but now I'm quite disillusioned with the world. Therefore, I'm going to leave the world. And then he took some sleeping pills, and he planned to be reborn in the Pure Land. So the answer to the question is that when you die, you kill yourself like this, you're not going to be reborn in the Pure Land for sure. Okay, but we didn't take enough sleeping pills, and he woke up the following day with a big stomach ache. Okay, and so that doesn't count, that knowledge. So Master Shio is making fun of some people. And Master Tao Li, we're on slide 282. Mr. Tao Li has some skills because he really cultivated himself. Okay, and that's the end of it. And what's the other? Did I answer all your questions? Apoli of WMT, it rhymes.
Master, you still didn't tell. That was a very obvious fake case. What about the real case? Does that mean they know they're going to Pure Land? They know they're going to a good place?
Very good.
Thank you.
You for asking the question. To know, there's some lay people. It's quite common, more common than you think. Many ordinary people, they would have an idea they're dying. And you're dying when your digestion doesn't work anymore. Okay? You eat and it doesn't digest. It sits there in your stomach, in your intestines. Okay? And so that's when you know that if your body can no longer absorb nutrients, it's ready to go. It's giving up. So that a lot of these people, then you notice they eat less and less, okay? And they conserve their energy. They are not as vivacious as before. They are more serene, okay? Calmer. Does it ring a bell? What happened to a photo of Wei Mountain Temple? To the inter-temple. Oh, right there. Okay. Vicky, that's what happens. When you know it's clear, it's close, when they begin to eat less. Okay? And they become kinder. Okay? Not their normal self. They're kinder because they realize that all the bad things they did to you, they regret it. Okay? And they now appreciate the kindness that's extended towards them, the care you extended towards them. So you see, the people who are dying, actually, most of them know they're dying. Many of them know they're dying. Okay? The body is no longer cooperating. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, I'd like to add this to the story. My grandfather predicted his death within the week, 5 days, the exact date of his death. He chanted all of his adult life. Every morning he woke up. Towards the end of his life, he was still living in Vietnam. His health was failing, so my parents came back, and all their siblings came back to visit him, and they didn't know when he was going to die. And my mom told me one day they were just hanging out with him, and he just suddenly said, "I have 5 days to live." And at the same time, 2 of my cousins were getting married within months. And he said, "If you want me to be at your wedding, you need to move it up within 5 days, because I'll be gone on the 5th day." And they all moved it up right after each other within 5 days. And he passed away on the morning of the 5th day.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing this story. It's more commonplace than you think. People know. They have ability to know. They don't need to do China at all. Okay? Because they can tell the body is shutting down. And the verse also true. They could extend their lives a little bit longer as well. He could have said, let's say something happened, and instead of going after 5 days, I can stretch another day, maybe 2. That's possible too. Okay? We are all capable of doing that. If you really want to, you can stretch a little bit, live a little bit longer, to say goodbye to a loved one who's on the way. That's what happened to me. My grandma was in a hospital, and the doctor said she only have a few hours left. So the whole family came to say goodbye. And this is in San Jose. And then I was in Minnesota. So when they heard it, and they called me, and they said, "Okay, I'm on my way." And at the time, I bought a ticket right away, and the same day, and flew out. So it was about 12 hours away. Okay? And she waited 12 hours later. Okay? And then I came, and I held her hands, I touched her skin, and then, how old was she? like 88 or something. And the skin was, has no moisture. Like today, it's hot, you know, we perspire. The skin has nothing but it's smooth. And so I touched the skin and I said, you know, I love you, Grandma. And then she died a little bit later. So in Vietnamese, it's called muối, salt. You translate it directly, literally is salt. So they drag the feet for a little bit longer. And they can, people can. Okay, she's not the only one. It happened very often, quite often. Okay, so it's not a big deal to know that the date of death and so forth. Okay, but when you practice Chan, you can when you appear, you can see that as well, and it's not a sign of necessarily enlightenment or people with wisdom. It's a natural thing, you know. Okay, could be that the Buddha gave him a warning, say, you know, I'm coming, boy, for you in 5 days and so forth. Okay, but it doesn't mean they're going just because they know. Doesn't mean they're going to the Pure Land. My grandma did not make it to the Pure Land. Okay, until recently. Okay, so you see, all these things that the Chinese they're whispering and rumors are spreading, it's a lot of nonsense. Not true. Just because you know your impending death doesn't. It's different from a ticket to the Pure Land, right? It's two different things, totally. It's hot today, and I'm a little bit over time, so I apologize for that. Anyone has any watermelon or ice cream at all? Can I interest you in some refreshments? Thank you, everyone. Good evening.